Hey, Team 100, and welcome to Inspiration Speak Love 100 with the girl, Josie Love. That is she. I am super excited to be with you guys because you guys know what time it is. It's testimony night. Yes, indeed, testimony night. For everyone that was on prior, I welcome you back. I welcome you. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend that is going down here on Inspiration Speak Love 100. So come on in, and welcome again to Inspiration Speak Love 100. It's testimony night, and boy, don't I have a testimony for you guys. Oh man, this week, like I say every week, has been a week. And I just want to say thank you everyone that have made it through the week. Thank you for working hard. Thank you for pressing through. Thank you for being committed. Thank you for not giving up, Team 100. It is the beginning of the week and you guys are at day 7. So you guys should be very, very proud of yourself because you have made it to day 7. Okay, there's a lot of people that may have not made it to day 7, but you, Team 100, you guys made it to day 7. So therefore, pat yourself on the back. Give yourself a round of applause because you have made it to day 7 and you have remained positive. You are still focused and we are still going to look forward to a great year. Okay, some of you guys may have started the year a little rocky or a little rough, but we are going to have a great year. I guarantee it. By December 31st, 2022, you guys, I want you guys to participate. Let us know how your year went because I want to hear all the great things that you guys got into, that you guys were able to bring forth into life, to produce. And so I'm super excited to see and hear everything that you guys were able to do and come out of 2022. It's testimony night, so I do have a testimony for you guys. Like, this week has been such a great week. I don't know about you guys, but regardless of whatever happens this week or year, I am going to remain positive. I'm going to always look for the good in everything. That's the title for tonight. So up here somewhere, I want you guys to see the title. There's good in everything. Everything? Yes, everything. There is good in everything. We always have a great conversation at the end of testimony night. And I just love your participation, Team 100. I love the fact that you guys are participating. You guys are giving me your perspective and you guys are really challenging the conversations. You guys are looking beyond the norm of what people would normally say. And you guys are really brainstorming. You guys are really you guys are opening up your mind to different perceptions from other people. And I am just so happy for that because long ago, it was whatever I was brought up with, that's whatever it is. And there are some things that, yes, you want to keep in regards to your upbringing, but there's a lot of things that you have to be open to learning, open to understanding, open to comprehending, and really just taking in and seeing the other side to something. And so I do just love the conversation that we have. And this year, I really want to have more conversation. I really want to interact with people. A lot of people are in need of conversation. And so that's why I really enjoy bringing these topics to you guys, because this is a way to break the ice with our family, our friends, a stranger, and just really get into, hey, let's talk about it. Okay. So I just want to say thank you everyone that has participated in the conversation. Thank you, Team 100, for doing your work and being so excited about this year. Thank you for allowing me to mentor you and just, support you in, the purpose and the goals that God has given you in this lifetime. I'm so happy to be a part of your journey. And so the sky is the limit. So our testimony, my testimony. Listen, I want you guys to come in and I want you guys to share your testimony. Your testimony, like I tell you guys every Friday. Yes, I enjoy reading them in email. However, I don't always want to be blessed by them by myself. I want you guys to bless someone by coming on and sharing your story. It's your story. I want people to see how you are becoming the better version of yourself. And sometimes you need to release that information so that you can be able to open up to house new information, new experiences. And so you have to let some of that go and give it to the people, because God is doing amazing work in your life, and people need to know that so that they can believe and know that, hey, if it can happen for you, it can also happen for me. And so this is why Testimony Night exists. I love Testimony Night. I always love stories, and especially when people tell stories. It's something about when someone expresses their experience. It takes you to another, dimension sometime, and you really get to, I don't know, maybe because I'm a visual person, it really creates like a visual of what they went through, and it's like you are a part of that. They take you into their world for a little bit. And so Testimony Night is just so important because it connects us. It helps us to understand that we are not in our situation alone. There's lots of times where I used to feel as if I was going through something and it was me by myself against the world. And when I started to tap into people, I started to realize that, wow, you know what? I'm not by myself. And Team 100, you are not by yourself. You may be going through something right now in this moment, and you feel like nobody understands, nobody's going through it but you. I've been there. I understand it. I want you to understand that this platform is for you to share your story so that you can understand, one, to release, two, and for you to understand that you are not going through this by yourself and you have a place of support. I'm here to support you. I'm here to encourage you. And I really want to see you become the better version of yourself. Okay. And so with that being said, let me get into my testimony. Okay. So it's, I don't even know where to start because this testimony has just been so heartfelt, like personal. And so, where should I start, Team 100? Yeah, okay. So my testimony this week is just trusting in God. Like, just knowing that He's going to come through and really being obedient in where I am in life and what I'm called to do. And I think in doing that, God is going to bless you in a major way. This week, I received some information that really changed my life. Like, it was a game changer. And, sometimes when people think they're hurting you, they're really blessing you. Okay? So I want you guys to, that's the first key point. I'm really blessed that, when people think they're hurting you, sometimes they're really blessing you. Not sometimes. They're blessing you. Okay? There was let's call it a debt that was really troubling my spirit. And this debt was just like, Lord knows how this was just like hovering over me. Like, it was something that was just like, it was really bringing just anxiety and stress to my life. But I was determined, like, this is not going to defeat me. This is not going to overcome, my outlook on what I'm supposed to be doing. And so I kept a positive mindset about it. And a lot of people was just like giving me reminders that, okay, Josie, it's there and this is an issue and you need to get it done and you need to get it fixed. And I couldn't. There was no way around this situation. There was no way that I can go through it. There was no way that I can go around it. I couldn't go above it or below it. I was just at a standstill. And in this standstill, certain people just like freaking out. Like, what are you going to do? And I really was like, okay, God is going to fix this. I didn't know how. I didn't know what. But I was like, God is going to fix this for me. And He is just going to release it. Okay, I ain't going to have to worry about it anymore. This is going to be something that I'm not even stressed about. And in my obedience of not stressing and trusting in God, I received the blessing. There's a prayer book that I read, and it's called Passionate Prayers. I had this book for a long time, okay? Passionate Prayer Promises. This has more than 100 prayers and scriptures that has been a life-changing blessing to me. As you see, it's been through hell and back with me. I've kept this book, and I kept doing my meditations in the morning. I kept reading my word, and I was just into this one chapter here, and I wanted to share it with you guys tonight. And it's page 30. It's the blessing chapter, and I think everyone needs to go get this book ASAP, because I'm not a person that I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm not a scripture memorizer. I don't memorize the scriptures like that. But thank God for this author here, Brenda Walsh. She created this book, and this has changed my life. I think I got this book in, I don't even know. It's been a long, long time. But this scripture book here, whatever you're going through, you guys, Team 100, it has a message for you. I don't want to say verse. It has a message for you. It has a word for you, and it's going to hit home to exactly what you're going through, and it's a game changer. But you know, the blessing chapter, and this is really cool because it gives you different types of chapters. And the crazy thing is, it gives you those chapters that everybody reads, read about or memorize, but then it gives you other chapters that you would have not even, look at this, like 3 rows. She gave you 3 extra rows of verses that really just hit home to whatever you're going through. And you guys know I love to give you guys resources. This book, Passionate Prayer Promises by Brenda Walsh, and Kate, I can't really read the last name because this book has been through hell with me and back. But Brenda Walsh, I'm gonna try to put it down in the description below, has really been a game changer for me. And when I was going through this transaction, I really kept thinking that I'm blessed. There's a blessing in this. And I kept telling everybody that was in my inner circle in that time that there's a blessing that's going to come out of here. And I believed in that blessing. And this is the verse I wanted to read. Well, I just wanted to give you the verse because this is a long verse. But there's a verse here where it talks about, and let me find the verse for you. Okay, there's a verse here where it's Genesis 32 verse 24. Then Jacob was left alone. I'm going to read a little bit because I want you to understand what the testimony is all about. Then Jacob was left alone, and a man wrestled with him until the breaking of day. And he said, "Let me go, for the day has broken." But Jacob said, "I will not let you go unless you bless me." And he blessed him there. I believe that God was going to bless me in this transaction, in this situation. And I kept saying to everybody, listen, I'm not going to worry about it. I just felt like a peace about this debt where I was like, Lord, you give me this debt as a gift. I was able to give it as a gift. And I know that you are going to release it as a gift. The same way I was able to give it is going to be released in that same format. And God did just that. I got notifications this week that he released that debt, that transaction for me. And the reason why it's not just a monetary thing. The reason why is because a lot of people thought this was going to hinder what God is doing in my life. This was going to hinder how I move. But I steadfast that no, this is not going to hinder me. If anything, this is going to be a testimony of triumph. And sometimes people think that they are doing you harm, but really they're doing you good. And I am still like puzzled, but unpuzzled of how this happened. But I just want to, the reason why I'm sharing this testimony with you guys is because I want you to understand that regardless of where you at, what's going on, what you think is holding you back, there is a blessing, there is a gift in it. And until you realize the gift, everybody was just like negative, eeny meenies. And I remain positive in saying, hey, it may not be this year, it may not be next year, but when God sees it's fit for me to release that, He's going to allow me to release that. And that's when I'm going to understand that I'm prepared to take the next step into the journey that I am in transition and embarking into. And so it was just like, it just gave me confirmation, Team 100, that I am where I need to be. And everything is in line with where I need to be. And so whatever you're going through, you may feel like, oh my God, right now, this is the worst time. I can't get over it. It's not going to work out. But remember that you're where you're supposed to be in that moment. You may think mentally that you're supposed to be like 20 years ahead. But right now, you are being molded, you are being shaped, you are being put together so that you are triple prepared once you get to that vision that you see of yourself 20 years ahead. And so that's my testimony. I'm just like so happy, so at ease, so blessed that I didn't rush the process. I didn't get angry through the process. I didn't dwell on the process. I didn't let the anxiety or the frustration of what I wanted to do during this process to affect me. Like I understood what was being done in this moment, and it all makes sense now because I'm like, okay, I'm happy that I couldn't move when I wanted to move because I was not really ready to move in that sense. And so, everything works out for a reason. And that's why this week, the topic, it is what it is. There is good in everything. And a lot of people, my mentees were like, what? What are you talking about, Josie? Yes, there is good in everything. And for a long time, I used to be one of those like very cautious, negative people where, I'm preparing for the worst. People will tell you that, Josiane, in my bag, I have a what if for everything. What if this happened? What if that happened? What if I have a headache? What if, I have a what if, and I have a supply for that what if or solution for that what if. And so I'm always preparing myself for the what if, but I used to always prepare myself for the what if in a negative content or a mind frame, better yet. And so as I started to realize that there is more than what I was mentally programming myself to believe, I realized that I'm missing out on a lot, team. Like, I'm missing out on a lot. And when I say that, it's because when you have shut yourself closed, like you're like, no, I don't want to know anything else. I don't want nobody else's opinion. And you have shut your mind and you're just like fixed on one thing. You are closing so many opportunities and so many blessings and so many connections that you would have been able to have access to, but because you're not looking at the glass full, you're looking at it empty. And so when you don't look at everything as being, as having a good in it, you are missing out. And sometimes God is going to put you or keep you where you need to be until you realize the good. And I feel like even in my testimony, I feel like if I had accepted or if I had participated with the negativity that everybody else was just like giving me, and all the no's everybody else was just giving me, like, no, it can't go that way, it can't do this. If I had just, gave into that, I don't think that I would have gotten the result that I received this week. I don't think that I would have been excited, or I would have really, manifest that, hey, this is going to work out in my good, because I already received the confirmation. If I had really just let the people around me just really pull me into that mindset of, oh, it's just negative, it's not going to work out, I would not have been able to foresaw or foresee the good that was coming out of this, and there was a lot of great things that came out of this, one situation. There was clarity. There was there was growth, and there was more faith that was built. I understand a lot of reason why I was unable to move in the way I wanted to move, because it was not for me to move that way. And so there was so many good things that when I sat down, I thought about the process of getting to this moment of, whoa, it happened. I thank God that it didn't happen when I wanted it to happen. Like, I thank God that I didn't get this news, or I didn't get to release this back then. You understand? And so I just want you guys to understand that, whatever is going on in your life, and I understand we are humans, we can feel, we're going to go through some shit, but I want you to understand, even in the worst situation, even when you're at your lowest, when you're like hitting rock bottom, where you're taking a lot of L's everywhere, I want you to try. This has been very hard for me, but as I continue to try to see the positive in the worst situations, I notice that I have more opportunities. But we'll get into that later on. I think I'm just diving into the conversation, since I don't have nobody here that wants to share your testimony live. I know you guys are going to go ahead and send me your emails, which I appreciate and I love, but I want you to have the courage this year to come on live with the girl, and I want you to share your story. But I'm just going to dive into the conversation because it links to the conversation, and this is the conversation I've been having this whole week. To see the good there in everything. There is good in everything. And so I just want you guys to understand, like, even in the worst situation, I want you to try to really see the good in that situation. And I'm going to give you guys like 5 or 4 tips on how you're able to see the good in every situation. And I hope it really helps. I hope you really understand the process of this. Everything in this life is a process, and when you start looking at everything as a process, you're going to be less frustrated. You're going to have less anxieties. You're going to have less worry, because you understand that it just cannot happen like that. We all want this microwavable success, microwavable growth, microwavable lifestyle, but really, it takes a process. And once I even started to realize, and really in everything I apply, okay, it's a process. If I have to wait on the phone for 2 hours for customer service, it's a process. If I have to wait in line for an hour, it's a process. And so as I start to realize that everything that we do is a process, I'm more chilled. Like, okay, I just have to go with the process. And sometimes you'll be surprised that while in your waiting season, in your waiting moment, blessings are being built, blessings are being grown, blessings are just flourishing everywhere, because you're allowing the process to take its course, and in that, you're allowing your blessings to just set up their route for you. Just like set it up where, okay, when you take that next step, it's done, it's ready. And just like this testimony, without me even knowing that I was like going into, or pursuing what I needed to pursue, and just like staying steadfast to what my mindset was and the goal was, I didn't even know that in the background everything was just working out for my good. In the same way, I want you to understand that you may not see it, but everything is working out for your good, and you have to just remind yourself that there is something good that's going to come out of the situation that you're in, the position that you're in, the L that you're taking. There's a reason for you taking that L. So it may not feel good, it may not look good, but there is some good in it. And if you focus on the good, everything else will work out, and your outlook on your situation is going to get better. And you are going to come out victorious. Okay, so I'm gonna get into it because I really want to get into it with you guys. So the first reason why I say that there is good in everything is because you learn something from it. You gain wisdom. I love to learn new things. I'm like an explorer of, just like the world in general. And so when you go through something, you have to learn something through it. Like, there was the big topic this week, the divorce of Megan Good and Devon. And it was heartbreaking. I'm not gonna lie. I was very heartbroken by it. However, as a divorcee myself, I realized that there was so much good that came in, or that came from their union. And so when I started to, tell, Team 100 how, or about the good, that I realized that if it wasn't for their union, that good would not have happened. A lot of people started to realize, okay, it was meant to be. Yes, it may have not meant to be, for the duration of what it is. However, it was meant to be because they were able, together as a unit, bless and help and encourage and inspire so many people with so many situations through their acts, through their book, through their encouragement in regards to marriage, through their stance on unity. There was so many good that came out of that relationship, but everybody's just like sticking to this negative. Oh, I knew they were not going to last, and I knew she was not good for him, or I knew he could have done better. But you guys are not looking at the good of them two. You guys are not looking at what those two people were able to create together. If it wasn't for them, that book, The Wait, and I advise you to get it, you guys, because it's amazing. That book, The Wait, would have not existed if it was not for their union, or their union. And so their book, when I talk to so many people, women especially, on this book, it has transformed lives. And when you think about it, if it wasn't for their union, if it wasn't for them coming together in whatever way God allowed them to come together, they would not have jointly contributed to this book and have changed the way women see themselves, the way men see themselves, the way they are supposed to live, how pure they should want to be. They wouldn't be able to really, have that spiritual understanding of, hey, you know what? Let me get to know self. Let me spend some time with self. Let me, remove myself from the distractions of life, of, relationships, of just everything. And let me really focus on my spirit. Let me really focus on myself. Let me really try to cleanse myself, or bring myself to an understanding of who I am. That book was amazing. And so I tell everybody, like, yes, they may have not been your match made in heaven. However, they were a match because their assignment was that book. Their assignment was the lives that they changed, the marriages that they changed. There's a lot of people that saw them and they was like, you know what, I'm gonna work on this and I'm gonna grow on that. And in their 10 years or 9 years of being together, they were able to help thousands upon thousands of people. And when you think about that, I think it was worth it. And as it come to an end, that was what they were designed to do. Their time was up. It was going to happen eventually. Okay. And so that's why I tell a lot of people, don't just look at the negative, like, oh, she was not a church person, or he needed a church girl. Look at what they did. Look at what the union of them coming together created. Like I tell a lot of people always ask me, hey, Josie, how do you feel, being a divorcee? And it's like, I'm okay with being a divorcee because I got the two beautifulest things in the world. Like, I went into a marriage, a single woman, and I came out with two beautiful kids. Like, two kids where if it wasn't for me and their father, they would not exist. And so I win. And a lot of people just see the negative, like, oh, Josie, you're supposed to be super sad, you're supposed to be depressed, you're supposed to be going through it, it was this long. And it's like, no, that was the purpose. There was a lot of things that I was blessed in my marriage to endure, to learn. I became a better woman for myself. I became stronger. And I see the good in that. And so when you start seeing the good in the worst situation, you can move forward in life because you now have the tools to go ahead and maneuver forward. I've had lots of heartbreaks, and I've learned. First thing, you learn a lot. You learn, you're going to have wisdom. God is going to pour so much wisdom in your situations. You go through stuff, you go through heartbreak because you are supposed to gain knowledge. There's something that you've been doing for years, or something that you've been doing where it's not working, and you had to endure this heartbreak. You had to endure this divorce. You had to endure this down. You had to endure that L in order for you to learn that lesson and know that, hey, you know what? I can be better. Sometimes it forces you to look at yourself. And so, I just say, one, understand that there's a lesson in every bad situation. There's a lesson in every good situation. Now, don't just think that you learn a lesson just in bad situation. There's some wins that you're going to achieve this year, Team 100, where there's going to be a lesson in that. And you better take hone, I said it right the first time, to what you learned in that win. Because that win, if you learn that lesson of that win, it's going to continue. And then you're going to understand how to apply that, the discipline, the dedication, the structure of that win. You're going to be able to apply it to the next win and the next win and the next win. And so there's a good in everything. I'm not just saying in bad situations, but in good situations, we are supposed to learn something. We are supposed to gain wisdom. So that's number one, why there is good in everything. Two, there is growth and opportunity. It somewhat ties into one, but when I say growth and opportunity, you're able to find and create new things. In my growth and opportunity, when I say growth and opportunity, there's a lot of situations where you would not have been as creative if you didn't go through that situation. You would not have had that idea to create that brand. You would not have had that strength to go after something if you did not see the good in that situation. Say for instance, let's say, becoming my inspirational, motivational speaker that I am today. For years, I was so timid. I was so scared. I was just like, oh no, this is not meant for me. I can't do this. But the experience of my life from 2007, when I realized that this was a calling, it helped me to create everything that you see here now. It helped me to enter into different opportunities. There's a lot of opportunities that I received where I was super just like traditional. No, this is not how you're supposed to do certain things. And when I started to really understand, like, hey, you know what? Because of this is possible. And let me tap into that. And in my fear, when I thought I couldn't do it, I saw the good. Like, you know what? Hey, if I tap into that, if I get to learn that, if I understand that concept, maybe I can go ahead and provide this assistance to this person. Now, because I was able to tap into this opportunity, I'm able to bless somebody else. And Team 100, that's what you need to understand. You are going to be in a situation where you are going to think that there is no option for you. And if you look at it in that way, and if you look at the negative of it, you're going to be stuck exactly where you are. I need you to, whatever situation it is, to look at, hey, is there an opportunity to grow? Is there an opportunity to expand myself? Is there an opportunity for me to think different? And that's what I talk about when you really see the good in everything. There are situations where you may see, like, there was a situation where, that what really brought me into volunteering, I saw, I used to catch the bus going to school and stuff like that. Lopez, you understand. I used to catch the train and the bus going to school, and there's opportunities. There's always an opportunity. Yeah, for sure. And I saw a homeless guy being mistreated, and I was just really just like, I was really just bothered. I'm like, this old man, he has no home, no family probably, and he's just minding his business. And then here's some kid, and that's why I'm very passionate about the homeless and the elderly. And, it gave me, a push to want to do something, and that's what really made me start to volunteer, because I wanted these people to understand that, yes, you may not have a home. Yes, you may not have people that, that care for you. But, whenever I get an opportunity, I want to go out there and just show love. And I want them to know that, hey, somebody somewhere, care for you. And so, that's what I talk about when that's a bad situation and I saw good out of it. And, it just, melted my heart and just like stayed in my heart to just do good for people that don't have. I didn't grow up with a silver spoon, but just to see that interaction, it's like, yo, what can I do? It makes you wonder, it makes you ponder, and it makes you create something. It makes you create opportunities. It makes you create, resources for different people. And, in that, I got into the healthcare, and then I started to work with, young, substance abuse, children and elderly people. And it was just a growth that just progressed and progressed because the opportunity that I saw. And hey, you know what? I don't want to see that. And so I decided to find an avenue where I can be of service, and it does make a difference. You don't understand how many people I have come across, just in that one interaction, and seeing that, I want to be a part of a greater interaction for them, and how I was able to move them because they moved me. And so there is opportunity and growth when you see the good in everything. There could be a situation that you're going through right now, and you're like, how am I going to figure it out? How am I going to do it? And you may find some real amazing way to get out of a certain situation. And that could be your $1 million idea. That could be what, sets you apart and sets you out. And now you're a CEO of something amazing because you thought about the good. You thought about, what can I do to change this, to flip it? And so, 2, growth and opportunity. When you start to see good in everything, you'll see and you will be able to tap into growth and opportunities. And you'll also be able to see what you're capable of. In my transition last year, for the past 2 years, I have became the most strongest woman I know. Like, I used to always do all, want to be as strong as our parents. And I really feel like I have tapped into the strength of my mother as a woman, as a mom, in such a major way. And I just feel like, in my transition, I have, gained so much understanding of what I'm capable of, even in that hard, transition, even in the most, traumatic times and experience of those days that I had. I was able to see, hey, Josie, we're gonna come out of this, and we're here. Okay, it wasn't easy, but we're here. And I was able to see the capability of what I am capable of. Not my sisters, not my mom, but what God has given to me, what He has inputted in me. I was able to see the capability of who I am and what I'm capable of. And it's amazing when you're able to tap into yourself and see, I'm not the weakest link. I can do this. I can man up. I can, I can be a part of something. I can, a lot of people think that, I'm just cute and, I can't do or lift anything. Listen, I can put a whole house together. Okay. And so it shows your capability when you're able to look at the good. Like, okay, you know what? Are you going to sit here and die? Or are you going to be like, no, let me figure out what I can do. If I can put one foot in front of the other, then I can walk, and that means I can move forward. 3, I want you to understand that you will receive a blessing, okay? The word says it. Joy will come in the morning. It may not be talking about the next morning, but it will come. And so if you look at, hey, I'm working hard, real hard right now, something amazing will happen. Every day we wake up and we go to a job that we hate or we love. Why? Because at the end of the week, we're going to get a paycheck. And you are excited about this paycheck because it's going to pay some bills. It's going to take care of your kids. It's going to, do something that you needed to be done. And so you look forward to that. That's, for some people, that's like the blessing of, them working hard. And so in every situation, when you look at the good, you will receive a blessing out of it. I tell you guys all the time, sometimes God will sit you down to help you understand where you are at and why you're there. And if you don't understand the assignment, if you don't understand why you're there, and if you don't try to look at the positive of, okay, I'm here right now, but let me figure out how to come out of this. That's you seeing the good in your situation. And so you will guarantee for sure, you will always receive a blessing. You may not understand it in that moment. Just like I told you my testimony, it's been a while that I was waiting for this. But I understood that, what? It's going to work out. It may not work out when I wanted it to work out, but it will work out. And everybody that was thinking negative, like, no, Josie, it's not going to work out. You need to move. You need to do this. Like, you need to make a move. I was like, nah, I can't make a move because that's not where I'm supposed to. That's not what I'm supposed to do. And look how it came in perfect timing. Perfect timing. Okay. And it will come in perfect timing with you, but you have to look at the good in everything. Your car, you have a flat this morning, going to work. Look at the good in it. I had an experience where I was going to work and, I could have gotten into a car accident. if it was not for my flat tire. And I was pissed. I was like, I had a meeting. I was dressed to impress. Like, this was a really important day for me. And I got the flat tire. I was upset. I was really upset. I woke up early. I wanted to be there on time. And then boom, out of nowhere, the flat tire. But, you know, as I got closer to work, I realized that, yo, there was a major, especially on the route that I take every day, there was a major accident. And I was like, damn, imagine if this flat tire didn't happen. And I'm telling you, in the lane that I normally drive, because the way in which the road is like 2 lanes. So you either go on one or the other. And so I always stay on one lane. And so if I did not get that flat tire, you guys, that day, God forbid, it could have been me in that accident. And so, yes, although I was pissed, okay, because I was being counted on by a lot of people, and I felt like I was letting a lot of people down. But at the end of the day, when I sat back and I was like, yo, I'm happy that this flat tire happened to me, because it could have been me, okay? And so, yes, it was a messed up situation. Yes, you know, what I had to do, I didn't get to do it in the way I wanted to do it. But at the end of the day, everything worked out. You know, and other things that day, you know, played a great part, because it was like a domino effect. And everything came in line, and I was spared life. I really believe that, yo, it could have been me. And sometimes God is going to pause or put things in your life to bring you to a pause. And you are going to be pissed, Team 100. You are going to be upset, because where you think you need to be, you're going to be like, yo, man, why? It's not working. You have to see the good. And if I didn't, after seeing that accident, bring myself back to earth and say, yo, Josie, I'm kind of happy that tire happened, because it could have been me. And so sometimes the delay is necessary for you to get to where you're going, get to your destination safe, and in the right mind frame, because my mental was so totally different afterwards. Like, I had a different type of perspective going down that road, you know, when I had to go down that road, you know, going to work. And so I say that because we all have an idea, or we all have a schedule that we're on. But really, when you take the time to slow down and look at the good in everything, you'll be surprised how blessed you are. You'll be surprised how so much things is actually moving in your favor. You know, it may not be moving in the way in which you want it to move, but it's moving in your favor. That is for why looking at things in a good, why everything good, why there is good in everything, because the delay is necessary. You know, there's some things that you have to learn. There's some things that you have to understand. There's some situation that you just have to slow down and just go through the process. You have to go through it. You have to really be present. You know, being present and realizing the good. You don't understand how it will change your mental. Like, I used to be one of those people where my schedule, like, if my schedule's not going the way, I used to freak out, panic. Like, I become a beast. But when I understood that, yo, sometimes the delay is necessary, I was able to just chill more. Like, some things I'm like, okay. You know, and I'm happy that, though, learning that now has changed the way I see certain things. If it's not working out, I don't even pursue it, because I feel like it's not supposed to happen. And if it's supposed to happen, it's going to happen accordingly. So it has changed the way I'm so eager to just jump into stuff I'm not anymore, because I realized that, okay, hey, I'm supposed to go through it. So it's going to give you a different way of moving, a different way of understanding where you are, and a different way of really taking in, hey, this is what's going on. You know, you see life so much different than just a routine of wake up, work, do it all over again. You see the blessings of everything that is coming out of that. Hey, I'm looking at things different. I'm looking at things more positive. And 5, you get to tap into your creator. Honestly, they all mesh. I'm not trying to be religious or anything. However, we are here and we are beings of Christ and Christ alone. So if you don't believe that, I don't know what to tell you, friend, because that's the truth. And so when you are able to understand how everything works for your good and why it works for your good, at the end of the day, Team 100, it comes back to Christ and Christ alone. You're not doing this by yourself. You're not here by yourself. You didn't wake up one day and say, okay, this is the life that you gave yourself. It was given to you, and so it forces you, have you understand, or make you come to the comprehension of, hey, there's a being and a force that is greater than me, and I need to tap into him, because without him, we're absolutely nothing. And when I started to realize that, this life is not my own, I need to consult my creator, life has become so easy for me. Life has become so simple. Like, everything that I thought I was responsible for, I was like, not really. Yes, we're placed in certain positions and situations to manage, those things. However, if it's not working out, there's a reason for it. And after tapping into and understanding that, he is in control of everything. I don't force things anymore. If it's supposed to happen, it's going to happen. I'm just going to move accordingly, because God has placed us to manage certain things. And so I'm not telling you to abandon your post. I'm not telling you to just tap out of where you're supposed to be or where you're at right now. You might be where you need to be because it's part of your transition. But I want you to understand that don't freak out about where you're at. Don't freak out about the decision that is going to change your dynamics, or the decision that you need to make to change your dynamics, because either you accept it and you make that decision, or he gonna sit you down and you're gonna go the long way. And I advise everybody, don't go the long way. You do not want God to sit you down, because once he sits you down, it's isolation, and you really are in a place where he wants you all to himself, and you are there to really reflect and regroup, whether you like it or not. So while you're having fun and entertaining yourself and living life, you better tap into him ASAP and just allow him to do what he's doing, and let him do it through you. We are all here to tap into each other, to encourage each other, to be a part of each other's transition and journey and growth. You are not here by yourself. You are not here by accident. Whatever you're going through it because somebody else needs to know that they too can go through it. And that's what I got for you guys tonight, Team 100. I want you guys to be great in all things, and all things be great. I want you guys to tap into the amazingness of everything. Whatever is happening in your life right now, stop and look at the good in it, because there is some good in there that you're missing out on. I love you guys, Team 100. We're going to be here next Friday, so tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. So bring a friend to even text a friend and tell them that it's going down here for Testimony Night on Inspiration Speak Love 100 with the girl Josie Love. That is me. I love you guys. Speak love always. Get your gear. The link is in my bio. Let's step into love. Let's speak love. And let's be love this year and forever. I love you guys. Be great in all things, and all things be great. And remember, become the better version of yourself. Later.